Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting right into something, well, vital. Nutrition and digestion. Ever wonder how that sandwich you ate, actually becomes you, how it fuels everything?
Right. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Turning food into energy into our very cells. Our mission today, let's say, is to really unpack that, go beyond just eating healthy, and see how this incredible process works and why it matters so much for, well, everything health related.
Okay, so nutrition, it's more than just counting calories, right? What's the real core idea?
Absolutely. Fundamentally, nutrition is about giving the body the raw materials it needs for energy, for growth, for repair, and we tend to break those down into macronutrients, the big ones, and micronutrients, needed in smaller amounts, but just as crucial.
Right, macronutrients, carbs, proteins, fats, we hear those terms all the time. Let's dig in a bit. Carbs first, fuel, right?
Primarily fuel, yes,
Mm-hmm.
especially for the brain and muscles during activity. They're the body's sort of go-to energy source.
But there's so much talk about good carbs, bad carbs.
Well, yeah, and that often relates to how quickly that energy is released. Simple sugars give you a rush. Complex carbs offer more sustained energy. But at the base level, they provide that essential fuel.
Got it. And proteins, the builders.
Exactly, the building blocks. Every single cell needs protein. The amino acids from protein are constantly, repairing tissues, building muscle, making enzymes, crucial stuff.
Okay. Then fats. They had a bit of a bad reputation for a while.
They really did. But we now understand just how vital they are, not just for energy storage, which they do, but also for building healthy cell membranes. Think of them as the gatekeepers for every cell.
Cell membranes and hormones too, right?
Yes, essential for producing hormones that control so much mood, metabolism, you name it. And certain fats are key for nerve function too.
So that covers the macros. What about the micros? Vitamins, minerals. Kind of the unsung heroes.
That's a great way to put it. They often are unsung. We only need tiny amounts, milligrams or micrograms sometimes, but wow, they're involved in almost everything. They act like spark plugs or maybe assistants for all the enzymes doing the work. Immune function, bone strength, energy metabolism, nerve signals. They're everywhere.
And we can't forget water. The forgotten nutrient. Seems basic, but
But absolutely essential. It's the solvent, the transport medium, the temperature regulator. Every single chemical reaction pretty much happens in water. Every cell needs it.
you can go a lot longer without food than without water.
Exactly. Days versus weeks, it underscores just how fundamental water is.
Okay, so we have the nutrients. Now, the journey digestion. How do we actually get those nutrients out of the food? It's not passive, is it?
Not at all. It's a very active, very coordinated process. It starts the second food hits your mouth.
The mouth. Chewing, obviously, but more happens there.
Oh yeah. Chewing is mechanical breakdown, increasing surface area. But your saliva contains enzymes, like amylase, that start breaking down carbohydrates right away. Chemical digestion begins immediately.
Then down the esophagus, that's peristalsis, right? The muscular waves.
Precisely. It's not just gravity. The esophagus actively pushes the food down with those rhythmic contractions, ensures things move in the right direction.
Towards the stomach, the acid bath. What's its main job?
The stomach's main gig is protein breakdown. The incredibly acidic environment, combined with powerful enzymes like pepsin, starts unraveling those complex protein structures. Plus, the stomach muscles churn everything, mixing it all with the acid and enzymes into this sort of semi-liquid mush called chyme.
Time. Okay, and then it moves into the small intestine. You called this the star of the show before. Why?
Because that's where the vast majority of nutrient absorption takes place. It's super long, like 20 feet or so, and its inner lining is incredible. It's not smooth, it's covered in folds, and then tiny finger-like things called villi, and even smaller ones called microvilli. All that increases the surface area massively.
A tennis court analogy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That massive surface area is key for efficiently pulling all the nutrients out of the chyme.
And it gets help, right? From the liver and pancreas.
Oh, big time. The liver makes bile, which gets stored in the gallbladder and released into the small intestine to help break down fats, emulsify them, essentially. And the pancreas sends in a whole cocktail of different enzymes to break down carbs, fats, and proteins into their smallest absorbable units. It's a real team effort.
So small intestine does the heavy lifting on absorption. What about the large intestine? Just waste and water?
Water absorption is definitely a key role, yes, and compacting waste. But it's also home to trillions of gut bacteria, your microbiome.
Ah, the microbiome. Increasingly important, it seems.
Hugely important. These bacteria actually help break down stuff we can't digest ourselves, like certain fibers. And in doing so, they produce beneficial compounds, like short-chain fatty acids, and even synthesize some vitamins, like vitamin K. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Wow, so this whole 30-foot journey is coordinated. Hormones, nerves.
Absolutely. Hormones signal when to release bile or enzymes. Nerves communicate back and forth between the gut and the brain. It's incredibly complex and finely tuned.
Okay, breakdown complete. Nutrients are ready. How do they get into the system? Through the small intestine walls.
Exactly. Those tiny nutrient molecules, glucose from carbs, amino acids from proteins, fatty acids from fats, vitamins, minerals, they pass through the cells lining the small intestine, primarily via those villi and microvilli, and enter the bloodstream or the lymphatic system.
And once in the bloodstream, glucose, for instance, instant energy.
Pretty much. Glucose is the body's preferred immediate fuel source. It gets whisked off to cells that need energy right away. Any excess can be stored in the liver and muscles as glycogen for short-term backup fuel.
Glycogen, okay. And amino acids from protein, off to build and repair.
Yep. They become part of the amino acid pool, ready to be used wherever needed, repairing muscle tissue after exercise, building new enzymes, making hormones. It's a constant recycling and rebuilding process.
And the fatty acids from fats, cell walls, hormones we mentioned. Anything else?
Well, they're crucial for absorbing certain vitamins, the fat-soluble ones.
Yeah.
A, D, E, and K. And essential fatty acids, like omega-3s, are vital for brain health and managing inflammation.
Vitamins and minerals just get shipped out to do their specific jobs. Immune support, nerve function.
Exactly. They circulate and are taken up by cells to participate in countless processes. Think of them as essential keys unlocking specific cellular machinery.
It sounds like a super efficient assembly line when it works well, but it doesn't always, does it? Digestive problems are pretty common.
Unfortunately, yes. Things can go wrong. Acid reflux, for instance, that awful burning sensation. That's stomach acid backing up into the esophagus.
Often from overeating or certain foods.
Yeah, those are common triggers. Lying down too soon after a big meal can do it too.
And bloating and gas, that uncomfortable feeling. What's causing that usually?
Often it's down to undigested food reaching the large intestine, where bacteria fermented, producing gas. It might be an imbalance in gut bacteria, or trouble digesting specific things, like certain types of carbohydrates.
Constipation, too. Things just slowing down.
Right. Usually linked to not enough fiber in the diet, not drinking enough water, or sometimes lack of physical activity. Fiber adds bulk. Water keeps things moving smoothly.
And food intolerances are different, right? Like lactose intolerance?
Yes, that's typically due to lacking a specific enzyme. For lactose intolerance, it's a lack of lactase, the enzyme needed to break down milk sugar. So the undigested sugar causes issues further down the line.
Yeah.
And yeah, these problems can definitely affect how well you absorb nutrients.
Okay, so given all this, what can we actually do to help our digestion work better? Any practical tips?
Definitely. And some are quite simple. First off, slow down, chew your food really well. Remember, digestion starts in the mouth. Give those saliva enzymes a chance.
Makes sense. Don't rush the first step. What about what's actually on the plate?
Aim for balance and variety. Lots of fiber from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein sources, healthy fats. This mix supports not just nutrient intake, but also a healthy gut microbiome.
Hydration keeps popping up. Drink more water.
Absolutely. Water is crucial for breaking down food, transporting nutrients, and keeping waste moving. Being even slightly dehydrated can make digestion sluggish.
And the microbiome helpers, probiotics and prebiotics, worth looking into.
I think so, yes. Probiotics are the good bacteria found in things like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut. Prebiotics are the food for those bacteria. Think garlic, onions, bananas, asparagus, whole grains. Including both can really help support a healthy gut environment.
And probably limiting the stuff that disrupts digestion.
Exactly. Ultra-processed foods, often high in sugar, unhealthy fats, and low in fiber, can really throw off your gut bacteria and make digestion harder.
Final tip, maybe the oldest one.
Don't overeat. Simple as that. Stuffing yourself puts a huge strain on the whole system. Smaller, more frequent meals, or just more moderate portions can make a big difference to digestive comfort and efficiency.
It really drives home how central nutrition and digestion are, not just background noise, but the absolute core of our physical health.
Totally. What you eat literally becomes your cells, your energy. It's the foundation.
And understanding this whole process, this incredible journey food takes inside us, It really gives you a sense of agency, doesn't it?
It does. It helps you connect the dots between your choices and how your body actually functions. It's not just abstract advice. It's about supporting this amazing biological machinery.
Knowing this can genuinely lead to better choices, better well-being, maybe even preventing issues down the road.
For sure, it puts you more in control. So, maybe the takeaway thought is this. Next time you eat, just take a second to consider the incredible journey that food is about to embark on inside you. You're actively participating in this complex, vital process. How can you best support it?